Hello, welcome to A Place in the Sun Revisited. My name is Liz Rollinson, work for Place in the Sun, and I'm here with Michelle. Hi, Michelle.
Hello.
Yeah, how are you?
I'm fine, thank you. How are you?
Not bad, thank you. Now, we're here to talk about your place in Lanzarote. Anyone that's just tuned over from Channel 4 will have seen you looking with your daughter Charlotte for a 1/2 bed apartment for a holiday home. You had a budget of 110, possibly £120,000, and you were looking in your much loved you didn't end up quite buying where you thought you would, but you were looking in Playa Blanca, weren't you?
Yes. Yeah. So that's where we've always holidayed. So that was our choice to go to Playa Blanca.
Yeah. So tell us, just to be a bit more background than on the programme. How many how you've been a few times on holiday, hadn't you?
Yes, been we've been a lot of times to Playa Blanca, and we had visited other areas in the island for day trips, but we'd always gone back to Playa Blanca. So yeah, it was always Playa Blanca that when we were looking at properties before going on the show, that's the area we were looking at. My husband was a bit more, we should look at other areas, but I was always very dead set on, no, it must be Playa Blanca. It's where I know, it's where I love, it's where we're going to go. So yes, it was a bit of a shock.
Oh, on that question of location, had you tried, I always ask this when people are so sort of set on whether it's Lanzarote or whether it's Fuerteventura, had you been to the other islands, or had you sort of been curious about whether they were just as good?
Yeah, so we had been to the other islands. I've been to Tenerife 3 times. My husband's been twice. Well, actually, he's been 4 times. The girls have been twice. We've been to Gran Canaria, Fuerteventura. However, Lanzarote was just our favourite. It just, for us, it just gave us everything that we wanted. So yeah, we have visited the other islands and mainland Spain and other destinations. But yes, it was Lanzarote that's always the one that we went back to.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, no, it does have a lot of fans, Lanzarote. And it it's beautiful. So tell us about was it the inheritance which you talked about on the program? Was that the reason that sort of really pushed your dream to the next stage? I mean, you'd been thinking about it, hadn't you?
Yeah, so when we were in 2017, that's when my husband and I, like Paul, first thought, actually, let's have a look in estate agent windows, let's see if this is feasible. And at the time, we just thought, oh, can we afford it? Do we want to commit to that? Because it isn't just the purchase of the property, there are commitments you have to consider as well. And we put it on the back burner. And then, so my mum had cancer and passed away, and then received inheritance, and it just seemed right. My mum knew it was always a dream of mine, and because it was just the right time. Then it was like, life is too short. We was always, when we retire this time next year, maybe, and actually life's too short. So it was just like, no, let's do it. And I applied for the show, and Yes.
I was going to ask you, Zach, who was it? It clearly wasn't Paul that was perhaps behind your TV debut, but tell us how that happened.
So Paul and I have been watching A Place in the Sun for as long as I can remember. Home and Away, Place in the Sun, Home and Away. He says, if we were going to do it, it is a scary process. Purchasing abroad is a scary process. You've got the language barrier. You don't know what their laws are. So if we said, if we get on the show, it would make it so much more simple there, because they would be able to open windows of opportunity that we wouldn't have thought of. So I think it was the October, and I just said to Paul, it was a cold, wet, rainy day. I said to him, I was at home, and I thought, oh, okay, I'm going to apply. I've watched the show. If you're looking to look abroad, apply for the show. So I thought, I'm going to, and I was very, very shocked when I received a response. So, but very happy as well. It just felt the right time to go, and I was chuffed to get on the show.
So did you know that Paul would never be keen about going on the program, or did you think that was Charlotte a volunteer, or how did that work?
Yeah, so Paul was happy to come onto the show with us.
All right.
What happened was that the dates that we could do because of the pandemic, there was certain dates, and my husband works for Royal Mail, so around the end of November and Christmas, they're unable to take any annual leave. So,
oh gosh, yes.
And so I obviously the first person that my husband said, I can't go, take Charlotte. Charlotte and Paul have very similar personalities. They're very level-headed. I think with my heart, Paul thinks with his head, Charlotte thinks with his head. Just seemed the right thing to do. She came home from university, and yeah, and we were speaking to Paul all the time. We were communicating him on the phone. I was taking pictures of the different properties, and he was involved in all the discussions. So yeah, he wanted to be there. He was just unable.
Oh, I didn't realize that, because there's often a sort of slightly more reticent partner in the thing, and it's always the woman who does the call to place in the sun and says, "Oh, look what I've done."
Yeah, he did know that I'd applied. He kind of said, I don't think you'll get anywhere, but yeah, good on you. It was as much as his dream. It is. Lanzarote is both our dream. It's not one of us have preferred it over the other. Yeah. You know, it was it's just always been our place.
Did you have I can't remember, did you have another son or daughter?
Yes, Emma. So Emma doesn't want to be on the show.
Right.
So so she's not on the show. She's mentioned, but yeah, so she's actually at school at the moment. She's doing A-level, so she's 17.
Right.
So yeah.
Brilliant. Yeah, I didn't want to leave anyone out in the whole family thing. Yeah. So, okay, well, let's have a quick look at the intro to the programme.
Michelle and Charlotte, welcome to Lanzarote.
Hi. Hello.
You're happy to be here?
Definitely. Absolutely. Absolutely.
What a place, eh?
Oh, it's wonderful. You've got the marina, you've got beautiful beaches, beautiful scenery. We love walking, we love Well, I like running.
Do you?
Paul likes cycling. So just everything that we look for in a holiday is found in Playa Blanca. So that's why we
seems to have it all, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And why all of a sudden now are we buying this?
Yes, so we're searching the property. My mum sadly passed away in May this year from cancer. She fought for 3 years, and I've been lucky enough to receive some money, and I wanted to buy somewhere friends and family can come. Charlotte's already booked 3 weeks next year if we do find somewhere this week. So just my close friends and my close family that were there to support me when my mum was going through her treatment. Just a way of giving back to them. And
so it's going to be a lovely memory of your mum as well.
It is.
What is it that you're hoping to find in Playa Blanca?
2-bedroom, possibly apartment or villa, with a balcony or somewhere we can sit outside, ideally with a communal pool, but it's not a deal breaker. Somewhere that doesn't need a lot of work doing to it. Paul and I are not very good with DIY, so
not very handy.
No, not very handy at all. No.
Are you handy with the?
Yeah, I would say that if DIY doesn't need doing in the house, I'm the person it gets sent to.
You've got a budget of £110,000.
But we can stretch it to 120, possibly slightly over if we find the right property.
I think we might, I mean, Playa Blanca, very desirable.
Yes.
Not the cheapest place on earth, I might add.
No, it's not.
So it's not going to be the easiest of searches, to find you a 1-bed, and especially not going to be that easy to find a 2-bed. No. Are you willing to spread the search a little bit, maybe up to Puerto del Carmen, just to see what we can get?
Yes.
Are you ready to go and see some properties?
Absolutely, yes.
Come on.
Let's go.
Brilliant. So you had your budget. Did you sort of had you done some research and you knew roughly what you might expect to get? Is that right?
Yeah. So in 2017, the property prices in Lanzarote were lower. So I would say they're only going up in price. So we kind of missed the boat. If we'd have had the opportunity, or if we'd have taken the jump in 2017, we would have got a lot more for our money. And house prices were going up and up, and we registered for a place in the sun, so we had emails sent to us on a regular basis of properties. We were looking at Rightmove, so we knew that property prices were going up. So we had a realistic budget of what we could afford, because I say it isn't just the property, it's all of the other costs as well as the property, if you're running 2 properties. And for me, another big thing is knowing how often you want to go and use the property, and how often you can afford to go to the property. So it was always that in my mind. We tend want to go every 5 weeks for a week. So it's, those are flights that we have to purchase. So, it's just looking at the overall cost. So in our minds, we had a budget that we didn't want to go over. We had a little bit of wiggle room, but it had to be the right property to take that to the wiggle room. But yes.
Well, I think you were really sensible about, you're right. It's all about the cost of getting to a place, and airfares, you don't know whether they're going to go up. You don't know what's going to go up, do you, in terms of costs of living? So yeah, okay. So you got the call up, and then you flew out with Charlotte. And how did I think do you go for a drink with the crew first? How did you find the whole sort of being in TV experience?
It was really, really reassuring to go out for a drink on the Sunday evening and just meet Ben, meet the crew. Made us feel very, very welcome, made us feel very at home. And we were able to tell us what was going to happen throughout the week, so that we didn't have any surprises that we were unaware of. We knew it was going to be a long day. We knew that we'd have some opportunity to have some downtime. But yeah, I mean, they were very welcome, but the welcome drinks were really, really nice. And we went to a nice bar, watched the sunset. So yeah, and just to find out a little bit about ourselves, and we found out about the crew. So it just made filming so much more relaxing, rather than meeting all on day one and then going straight into the filming, that they kind of knew what to expect prior to that happening.
Yeah, someone I interviewed a little while back was saying that they're almost like having a chat with their sort of with the presenter, and almost at times forgetting that the camera was there. Did you feel that? Or
I did, yeah. So Ben was very, very friendly, and we had many opportunities to laugh. And in the evenings that we would meet for drinks after filming, and it was Ben actually that really, because he has been to different locations as well, and was able to give me information that maybe I hadn't thought about. So during the week, it was just keep an open mind of other areas. As in Lanzarote, you're very hard set on Playa Blanca. However, I've been to other areas, and I know that things you're telling me you enjoy in Playa Blanca, you can get from other areas and other locations. So it was good to get his knowledge and background, find out a little bit about him as well, and where he likes to holiday. And yeah, so it was really nice and reassuring just to get that gain of information, also from the crew as well, because they've been on location and they've seen. So it's good to get other people's opinions and chats, and just, it's just very nice.
That's good to hear. Yeah, because I mean, I guess they're being a bit like the job of the estate agent, in they're sort of saying about, keep your mind open to this. Have you thought of that? And yada yada. So.
Yeah, it was the whole process all the way through. They were saying, these are the properties we're going to show you. But keep an open mind. I think that's the biggest thing, is just to have that open mind, just not have a closed mind. Because before the show, my mind was very much, I'm going to purchase in Playa Blanca. And had I not been on the show, I don't think I would have had the knowledge to explore and make sure that I was making the right decision. So, and in Playa Blanca, I may not have purchased there, but I can now go for day trips there. If I'm on holiday, I can spend time there. And also the other key thing in saving money is, which again Ben had explained to me, he said, taxi fares from the airport. So depending on how often you're going to use your holiday home, how much does it cost to get to where you're located? So Playa Blanca, for instance, is approximately 60 to 70 euros on a taxi from the airport to Playa Blanca. Carmen is, I think, 15 euros. So it's
quite closer.
Yeah. So it is. It's thinking about all of those different areas when you're looking at properties. It's just all the little things that you don't kind of think about until it happens. It does make a difference. 70 euros compared to 15 euros that's a meal. So
yes, and you did see a property, didn't you, that was further out? Off the top of my head, was it 4 or 5? There was one that was you thought this is just too far out.
Yeah. So property 5. Was in Playa Blanca, but at the furthest point of Playa Blanca. So
that's it.
Yeah. And it was past the lighthouse, and like Paul and I had been to the lighthouse on many occasions and walked there, so it was walkable. but actually from the marina, it's probably about a 2-hour walk from the marina to where the property 5 was, and it was just too far. It just wasn't in the location of where I wanted to be. And I think also property 5 was, if I was going to live out in Lanzarote permanently, I think that's probably the property I would have gone for. It was more spacious, it had a garden, and it almost felt like home, but I wasn't looking for a home, I was looking for a holiday home. So that's
another great point, is differentiating between the two. And I've also heard it the other way around on the show, where someone's looking for a full-time home and they say, oh, this just feels like a holiday flat. So it's getting what's good for you.
Yes, that's it. It's knowing, you've just got in your mindset to know what you're going to be using the property for, why you're choosing the property, and what type of lifestyle. I mean, my biggest is, I'm living my dream. This is what I'm doing, is what I wanted to do. It's my expectations. I'm living exactly how I wanted to end up having purchased the property. So yeah.
Right. Well, let's have a look at property 3, which you ended up going for.
Yes.
All right, you two, you wanted a pool.
Oh wow, yes.
What do you make of that?
Yeah, that's
nice.
good. It is looking very inviting.
But to find a pool, you are sacrificing on a bedroom.
Okay.
Okay. The apartment is just being renovated. It's just the second from last at the end of this run on the first floor. In fact, it overlooks the palm tree.
Oh wow, on the first floor as well, I like that.
So you'd prefer to be
Yeah, so
a
you
loft?
can get more of a so you get more of a view.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What I would say is to get a pool like this and an immaculate apartment that we're going to see, we did have to push the budget. Okay. This is on the market at just under £138,500. But what I will say, we've had extensive chats with the agent. They believe strongly that you would get it just a few thousand over the £120,000 mark. And I know you said for the absolute tip-top right property, you could push it a little bit.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. 130, I'm thinking it's got to be really good. So that's why I'm getting a bit excited. And yeah, like you say, I have got that little bit of leeway. So
should we have a look inside then?
Yes.
I hope they agree this option is worth maxing their budget for. As well as a communal pool, this apartment has a front-facing terrace with sea and mountain views. Inside is an open-plan living dining room and kitchen, 1 double bedroom and a shower room.
Bedroom on your left, 2 super-duper kitchen and living space. Look at that.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bit of wow.
Yes.
I mean, this is another level.
This is modern. This is what I class as modern. And the lighting, the flooring, the furniture, wow.
So this is your living space.
Yes.
You know it's 1 bedroom.
Yes.
What are you thinking?
I think you could get a sofa bed in here, and you'd still have room here.
Yeah. No, this is perfect. Yeah, this is really good.
This is outstanding.
Yeah, I'm kind of blown away.
Yeah?
I love it.
Do you?
I'd move in tomorrow.
I mean, for you then, Charlotte, is this winning, this one?
Oh, 100%.
Yeah. This is making me think bye-bye Playa Blanca.
Wow!
Earlier on you said, is this what your mum would think? She would say, Michelle, no, forget the previous property. This is the one you need to have. It's just working out. It's just working out location, and it's certainly, it's made my head spin, really.
Is it really?
Yeah.
A little sun trap, eh?
Yeah, and I like the shelter as well. That's really good.
But forget that. Look at that view.
Oh wow.
The sea is all around you and the mountains. Yeah, this is a good view.
Yeah, but what's wrong with this place? Exactly. Nothing. Or is there?
No.
Yeah?
Possibly the price, but it's worth the money.
I can't fault anything.
It's worth the money.
Yeah.
Obviously we'll negotiate.
Yes.
Very enthusiastic about the last place.
Yeah.
Is this pipping it? Or?
Yeah, this is pipping it. This is pipping it. Yeah.
Excellent. Well, look, why don't you head inside and have a look at the rest? I'll see you in a moment.
Yeah, I mean, this is, it's funny, we've had a run of everyone buying property 3 lately. Often it used to be property 5, but this is, So, I mean, I can completely agree with you why you loved it. And it didn't really need anything doing to it, did it?
No, it was one of those moments that I property 2, I'd had a couple of tears. It was in Playa Blanca, and I thought that was going to be the property that I would say yes to. Property 3 took me out of my comfort zone into a resort that I hadn't stayed in before. But Charlotte and I walked in, and in my head, I thought, if my mum was here with me right now, this is the one she would be telling me to buy. It needed no work doing. I could literally turn up the next day with my suitcase, enjoy my holiday, lock up, go. It had everything that you could possibly think of wanting if you were having a holiday home. It had an alarm, it was air conditioned, it had a beautiful balcony, had a communal pool, the location was perfect, 5 minutes from the beach. It was near all the amenities. There was nothing that I could say, if only it was. For what I wanted, it just fitted. It just made me smile, and it makes me smile now, even thinking of it. It was the best decision I've ever made, and it was the right decision.
Oh, that's great. So you think now you're glad it wasn't in Playa Blanca. You've grown to love your new location.
Yes, absolutely. I really, really, absolutely. I just really, really like Puerto del Carmen. It's got everything that I wanted. It's got an old town, it's got a harbour, it's got a beautiful walk to Calero, which we've done on a number of times. I run, so It's got beautiful running routes. I say it's local to the airport without the airport noise, because anyone who's been to Lanzarote knows that the flights come in over the sea and not over land, so you don't have any noise, but you're very local. There's so many restaurants. Like Paul and I have said, we could go for the rest of our life and we still don't think we'd go to every single restaurant that's available, and we haven't had a bad meal. And we've been to Playa Blanca for the day, and it's really nice. So we were out for my birthday in November 2021, and my dad came out with us, and we went to Playa Blanca for the day and spent the day there, which was lovely. It's still easy to get to. It's just that Puerto del Carmen, Charlotte can go with her friends. There's stuff for children, there's stuff for adults, there's stuff for teenagers. There's nothing in Puerto del Carmen that you wouldn't find to like, no matter what type of person you are. Family have used it, all different family, and everyone's had a different experience. You come back and say, well, did you do this? Oh no, we did this. And it's like, oh, we haven't done that. So yeah, there's so much to do in Puerto del Carmen.
Would you say that there's more to do there than in Playa Blanca? Is it more of a family friendly place? I mean, for those of us who haven't been.
Yeah, so I would say Playa Blanca is beautiful, and I still have a heart for Playa Blanca. I think for myself, having purchased a property and going on regular occasions, Puerto del Carmen's a larger resort, so there's more to do. So you're not having the same holiday experience over and over again. I'd say that's the advantage, because the number of times that we can get over there, it's Playa Blanca. I will never get bored of Playa Blanca. I don't think I will, but I also work out there. So I've got internet in the apartment now, so I can go out there and work. And I work on my own. I go on my own. In Playa Blanca, I think maybe I would have had a more lonely experience than in Puerto del Carmen. There's more.
Wow.
So yeah, for me, it's worked perfectly. I would say I would definitely go back to Playa Blanca on holiday again. It's absolutely. But Puerto del Carmen, I think for what we needed, was definitely the right decision. It was definitely.
Brilliant. And you got such a good deal. That it was on for a lot more, and you put in your offer, and then they came back and only wanted a little bit more.
I know. So, it was an amazing moment. It was probably one of the best moments of my life, and I can relive. There's certain times in your life that you think, I'm never going to lose that memory, and sitting with Ben and waiting for the call to see if they were going to accept my offer. And I still remember Ben saying to me, as you would have seen on the show, okay, so what would you be willing to go up to? And I said, okay, we can go up to this. And then when they came back, which was lower than that, it was just an amazing experience. It was just so happy, and really, really pleased.
It's great. And was the completion after that? Did things go smoothly?
Oh, so yes, it was. So just after we filmed the show, we were in national lockdown again, so we were unable to go to Spain. Spain had locked down. We couldn't get there. So we were really lucky. The lawyer that we used and where the estate agent spoke English, had English backgrounds as well, and we actually ended up having a power of attorney.
Brilliant.
So the lawyer and the that was managing the purchase actually had power of attorney, so it wasn't complicated at all, and we completed within 4 weeks. So we had the keys by the end of January to the property. Unfortunately, we weren't able to get out there straight away. We had to wait till May, but yeah, once we were there, it was worth it. So yeah, definitely a power of attorney really helps the process. Otherwise, I feel that it would have been a longer process. But yes, from the moment that we put the asking price in, the Roper Properties contacted us the same day that we put the property in, gave us all of the details, gave us all the information that we needed. So we needed an NIE number, which I was unaware of. So that's certainly something that I learned. Got that process in place, sent over the deposit, because in Spain you have to pay an initial 1% deposit as soon as you put the offer in to secure the property. So we transferred that money across. But yeah, the process itself was really straightforward. And as I say, power of attorney really helped. It was quite a stressful period over COVID, but no, it was quite a smooth process. I found it very easy.
Brilliant. And am I right in thinking that in the Canary Islands, it's about 6.5% stamp duty on top? So it's actually one of the more affordable locations to buy in Spain.
Yes.
So did you budget for like maybe a maximum of 10% on top of that price?
Yeah. So it was just and those are the prices that the costs that you've got to consider when you're setting your budget, what you need to pay out for as well. So yes, we had that. So I think in total, the purchasing the property came to about £135,000. So obviously it was over the 110, but we had accounted for that. We knew that we could afford to go up to that amount. So you do have to think about those when you think about that. And also the cost of like communal fees, water. Are you going to have internet? So you pay for your internet, all of the little things that you maybe not think about, but also maintenance. I mean, my biggest advice for anyone purchasing is we've been really lucky. We purchased and we didn't know anyone in Lanzarote that owned a property or lived in Lanzarote. But our neighbours have been very good. We've got some English neighbours and some neighbours around locally that have really helped us out and look after the property when we're not there. We've got an alarm on the property, so that really helps as well. But it's just, yeah, I would say that is also the consideration. Have you got someone who can manage the property when you're not there? Is there someone that the alarm people can call if you're not there? Is there someone who can let themselves into the property if you're not there? So yeah, definitely you've got to have all those considerations. Are you going to have a cleaner? I haven't. I'm a bit OCD, I must admit, so I like to clean it myself. But again, some people do. And other areas of like charges. So there's an AGM for the area that we purchased from, and at the moment there's something needs to be done with the swimming pool. So again, there's additional charges. So you've got the communal fees, but there may be additional charges incorporating with the price of any property when you've got to maintain the property. And so.
Brilliant. So I think you mentioned you've managed to go out about 6 times between you, but since then, which is wonderful.
It is. It's certainly had a lot of use since considering of the pandemic. So Paul and I went out. Well, I went out on my own originally in May just to get keys and to prepare the property for when everyone was coming over. So the girls, obviously Emma, my daughter, and Paul hadn't been into the property. They'd seen it on video. So I went over 4 days in May just to gain the keys, just to tidy up, make sure things were working, just checking. So for instance, the day that I took ownership of the property, I went to have a shower and I had freezing cold water. So I had to go onto Google and find a plumber. So that was very interesting. I actually found an English speaking plumber who was actually an expat from England who came and fixed that for me. So I needed a whole new boiler. So again,
gosh, that was a bit of a something you didn't expect.
No, and it wasn't something I expected, but actually it was a lot cheaper than in the UK. What I have found is that prices of certain taxes, council tax and things are, what you do have to remember in Spain though is everything is mañana, and it does take a little bit longer, so you've got to just take into consideration that. But yeah, so I needed a new boiler, so those 4 days it was just getting the property ready, getting internet installed, getting a UK television installed, and then we went for a week with the girls. So the 4 of us went and explored in August, and then we took my dad out. It's the first time it was quite emotional actually, because my dad had not been on a plane since 2010, and it's the first holiday that he'd had without my mum since her passing as well, and he'd never been to Lanzarote. So Paul and I were a little bit nervous about bringing him, and but he absolutely loves Lanzarote. He's literally pointed to us every time that we go now, unless we tell him, you know, Dad, this is one of our holidays. He'll come whenever we let him, as he says. When you let me come, I'll come. So yes, we went in September, and then I went for 3 weeks in November. So Paul and my dad came out for a week for my birthday, and then I stayed for 2 additional weeks. My friends come out in the second week, and then the final week I stayed and worked on my own. And then Paul and I went out again in December, beginning of December, and then we went out New Year for Christmas. So we flew out Boxing Day and spent New Year's there, and it was absolutely the most idyllic. We both left. It was our dream come true. We never thought we'd spend a New Year's Eve on the beach in Lanzarote. So that was amazing. And Charlotte's out there now with her boyfriend, and Paul and I are due to go on the 30th of January, and then I'm going again for 3 weeks on the 20th of February. So we did certainly get out there.
Gosh, you're eking out your 90 days, aren't you?
Exactly, yes, we're counting them on the calendar, make sure we don't go over them. But we've actually the other. I mean, this is for ourselves, because we don't actually let the property out, so it's only for close friends and family, which is what I'd always said it was going to be. I wanted people to enjoy it. I've got a wall planner now, so that people have to come and tell me when they want to go, and we can book it. So Paul and I have set the dates that we're going, and then people fit in around that. So
yeah. Well, I was going to say, I don't think there's any free time for any paying guests, as it were. Oh, it's absolutely wonderful. So do you imagine, I mean, thinking ahead, I mean, it's a long way off, I imagine, for you, but I mean, when you retire, do you imagine literally spending, well, every winter and longer even?
Yeah, so that was always going to be the plan right from the beginning. So as soon as Paul and I retire, we are going to be spending 90 days in the winter over in Lanzarote. Paul's this is our home, we're going to keep that forever now. I'm thinking when we get to retirement that we possibly would buy a bigger property in Lanzarote and buy a property back in the UK. That's my kind of thinking, because the girls, as they get older, will have families, and they could come and spend Christmases if we had a bigger property. You know, families expand. But we're very happy with the property we've got at the moment, and it's certainly not something we're going to be considering anytime soon.
No, you're far too young. But no, it's that's often the thing of having the holiday home, then upsizing if you want to spend time, and who knows that whether by then, you know, might be able to spend longer without such limits, you know.
Yeah, exactly. So no, I really, I love the property, and
Brilliant. Well, look, thank you so much,
okay.
Michelle, for coming and sharing that. We might have to do a FaceTime little tour of when you're out there and see it. But that's great. And thanks again.
No, thank you very much. Thank you.
All right. Bye.
Bye.